Hello everyone, Tyler Kurtz here. We're just going to briefly discuss today's severe weather threats across much of Kansas, southeast Nebraska, a little bit of Oklahoma. Let's see how many people are possibly watching right now. We'll go ahead and get this started soon. Dive into it. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. So today we have a level 4 out of 5 risk, which means there's a moderate risk in place across north central to northeast Kansas into southeast Nebraska. That is going to be where the highest tornado probabilities as well as the wind probabilities. So we'll take a look at the wind first. There is a 45% significant hatched area for very damaging winds. Very, very serious winds are going to be taking place today, potentially. Next, we'll take a look at the tornado risk. So tornado risk actually extends all the way down along the Red River on the Oklahoma-Texas border. That'll be the 5% as well as a little bit of a 2%. And then for Wichita and kind of south central Kansas to a little bit eastern Kansas, you're in the 10%, as well as some parts of north central and southeast Nebraska. And then we've got that 15% hatched area for some very strong tornadoes in northeast Kansas. That'll be the greatest tornado probability. Then next we'll go ahead and look at the hail. So just a very broad area of hail with 30% hatched. Some very large hail could be happening today, 3+ inches in diameter, as well as a couple strong tornadoes. Let's go ahead and take a look at the NAM 3K model real fast. Kind of a complicated setup today. You've kind of got a triple point. I'll get back to this real fast. You kind of got the triple point up along here, and then you got this dry line that extends all the way down. The problem with the dry line, which we'll see here in a second once we get into the models, is the dry line threat is pretty conditional. So that means there's a pretty strong cap in place. If storms can break through that cap, then really look out. There could be some strong tornadoes along the dry line. There will only be a couple isolated cells that will form along the dry line if that's the case. And then up on the triple point, you'll likely have more storms. And I'll get into it more here in a second when I show the models. I'm just kind of doing a brief overview. But for the triple point, it's kind of a complicated forecast as well. If storms can remain isolated at first for a while, then tornado probability is going to go way up. The problem is there is going to be an MCS, which is basically a big, huge squall line that'll overtake when the cold front comes through. So that's a potential downfall scenario where the tornado threat could be lessened. Nonetheless, that's why they have that huge major wind threat up there, is because of that squall line that'll come through and bring really damaging winds. So we really look at convecting allowing models, CAMs, which is typically like the NAM 3K and the HRRR. So go ahead and take a look at the NAM 3K first. This is the 12Z run. And really right around, let's see, 7, 6, 5. So the NAM is showing storms around south central Wichita, Kansas around 5 p.m. Go ahead and try and pull up a sounding. I'm still trying to learn a lot more about these soundings. But though that kind of looks good. It's got a little bit of a cap. So this white line is going to be the cap. There's a lot of CAPE, which is convective energy in the atmosphere. With 3,000, that's saying. Once again, I'm still trying to learn these, so I'm sorry if this doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And then it kind of just fizzled out through 6 o'clock, and then 7 o'clock it has this stuff up in Nebraska. Once again, this is the NAM 3K model. And then it's kind of got some little isolated stuff through 8 o'clock, and then the squall line comes through about 9 o'clock according to this model. Let's go ahead and take a look at the HRRR real fast. This is the latest, okay, that run hasn't fully finished, so the 16Z run has finished. We'll take a look at the differences between these two models. So has that clear over there at 21Z. So actually, this is a little bit different. Earlier, it had the HRRR, HRRR, didn't really have anything firing down over here, but now it does have this. And that'll be at 7 o'clock. So we'll go back to 6, and it's just got stuff over here. 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock. So 4 o'clock, according to the HRRR, is when it would really start. That'd be 5 o'clock. That if this is actually what's going to happen, according to this model, that would look like that at about 5 o'clock, and then 6 o'clock. 7 o'clock, it does have this fire down here. Let's go ahead and take a look at this sounding real fast. Yeah, that hodograph looks pretty good, but once again, it's in a very capped environment. It's going to take a little bit to break that cap. And then yeah, 8 o'clock. Oh man, that thing really gets going according to the HRRR. So according to this, we'll have to wait and see what the 17Z model run says, but might actually have to reevaluate target areas. And then this is 9 o'clock. It has dangerous squall line, but it also shows this dangerous supercell. And then, you know, the squall line threat just continues overnight. Let's go ahead and take a look at the current surface ops across Kansas and Nebraska. So here in Wichita, we got temperature of 81 and already low to mid 60 dew points, which you really want higher dew points for these outbreaks. So yeah, the dews, which would be the moisture, is already in place across the target area, and that'll probably only unlikely increase as the day goes on. It's currently 1:07 p.m. Central Time, so we still got a couple more hours of daytime heating and for more moisture to surge up into here. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the visible satellite so far. Not really any Q fields or anything up right now. There's just some clouds and stuff. There could potentially be some outflow boundaries left over from last night's storm across central Kansas that we would have to watch out for. But yeah, so far today I was thinking about kind of targeting up towards the triple point. I was maybe going to go to Salina and just kind of position myself where I can go north or south pretty easily. If the triple point remains more isolated, that means the tornado threat's going to increase a lot up there. But based off that last HRRR run, I may have to consider and maybe stay around Wichita a little bit longer and then possibly go south. Let's see how far this new HRRR run has gone through. Okay, it's still not finished, so unfortunately I won't be able to show that right now. Let me just go check and see if there's any comments or anything. Doesn't look like it. Sorry if I have missed any comments, but I'm not seeing any. So yeah, still trying to pick out a target area. This is kind of another difficult forecast because that dry line situation is a big if storms can develop down there. Then that's going to be a good tornado threat as well towards Wichita and anywhere along here. So make sure you have multiple ways to receive weather alerts today, weather warnings, and make sure you're staying tuned. Once again, it is a pretty conditional threat for the dry line, so even if you're in this slight or enhanced risk down here, more south central Kansas, you may not even see a storm today. But if storms go up, you would really want to pay attention to the weather because they will go up pretty quickly if they are able to break through that cap, and they will become severe really fast with large hail and a tornado potential. So once again, I'm still not entirely made up my mind of where I want to target just because of the complexity of this forecast. But stay tuned for updates throughout the day. We'll have our social media, or my social media team here, posting updates on my behalf, hopefully. And then probably start the live stream around 4 or 5 o'clock on YouTube. So make sure to go subscribe to my YouTube and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any updates. That'll be youtube.com/c/stormchaser Tyler Kurtz. And I'll do my best to post updates throughout the day on this Facebook page and everything. But I'm going to be pretty busy this evening chasing these severe storms. I just got to figure out where I want to target, and we'll go from there. But as long as anybody doesn't have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and end this. Just once again, make sure you have multiple ways to receive warnings this evening. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and I hope to see you on the live stream later today. Stay safe, everyone.